guys ever have a problem when you're out shooting with your buddies and somebody wants to shoot a target way out there and everybody's having a hard time hitting it? Well, now you don't have to worry about that with your handgun calibers. We have a 9mm carbine. And it's a lot of fun to shoot. Hey guys, Jesse with J&J Outdoors. Thanks for tuning in, and I have a very unique piece of weaponry out here today. Most of you have heard of the KEL-TEC Sub2000, and we all know that they are notorious for a simple feature that they do. Right here I have my laptop bag tucked away. This is a KEL-TEC Sub2000, first generation, chambered in 9mm. This one accepts the Glock 17 magazines. The Sub2000 gets a lot of attention for being a folding carbine, folding rifle. That's a very unique feature. This gun cannot fire while it's folded, so therefore it's safe. It's one of the things that makes it legal to fold it in half like this, is that it can't fire in the folded position. Let's go over the rifle real quick, guys, or the carbine. I tend to call it a rifle quite a bit, but this is a sub-caliber carbine. But from the back, we have a very small, lightweight buttstock, and that really cuts down on weight. Tuck it into your shoulder, and very maneuverable. It's small, cuts down weight. Right back here, we have a buffer tube. Inside of here, we have a spring, the bolt, and the bolt carrier. And the bolt carrier is a very large chunk of metal. It latches up to your bolt. It's heavy. I'd say that makes up half of the weight of this gun. This gun weighs in at 4 pounds, guys. That's pretty darn light. That's really light for a small rifle or carbine. But 4 pounds, that's something else. But that bolt and stuff is very heavy. Next, we have on our grip and our receiver, this is all polymer. And I gotta be honest with you guys, I'm not out here, I'm not getting paid by KEL-TEC to come out here and tell you what a great gun this is, you need to go buy it. When I picked this gun up, I was disappointed because I looked at it, got it in my hands, and I was like, wow, that is cheap. I was like, that is just, honestly, I felt like I was holding a toy. But when I got it home and I shot it, it put a big smile on my face. I was very impressed with it, and it's been a lot of fun to shoot ever since. And it really changed my opinion of it. Because me personally, AR-15s, the receiver is aluminum, very durable, sturdy. And we all know that AR-15 is a solid rifle. So when I picked up a KEL-TEC Sub2000, and the daggone grip will split open and it's just screwed together, I was like, wow, this is really cheap. But like I was saying, after I shot it, changed my opinion. The handguard is polymer, same thing, just pieces of polymer screwed together. Kind of like a high quality toy that we buy our kids at Walmart, basically just plastic screwed together. But it has a metal barrel, 16.5 inches. It has a polymer front sight. One of the downsides that the KEL-TEC Sub2000 gets is the sights. It has a standard fold-up peep sight on the rear. You can see when we fold this gun open, right there, it flips up. Standard peep sight on the back, so if you're used to AR-15s, this will fit in just well. No one behind the camera. We have a fluorescent orange front sight. This is adjusted by polymer screws. And your windage and elevation is all right here, guys. If you got to raise, lower, you move this around and then you tighten down your screws to where your sight needs to be. One of the downsides that they're getting is this front sight is breaking. The threads are stripping out, but this is a first gen. KEL-TEC has made a Gen 2. Right here's your charging handle. It's right on the bottom of the bolt. So you pull that back and release it, or you can pull it back and lock it. So you can have it in the locked position, have your gun fold in half, have your magazine in. When you're ready and you need to use your rifle or carbine, flip it open, do an MP5 slap. That was pathetic. Let's do that again. Slap it like a man this time, Jesse. All right, so we got it folded. There we go. And then you're ready to start shooting. So it's a little cold out here. It's rainy. Please excuse the sissiness to the slap, guys. My hands are a little numb. We're clear. Go check out the trigger. Has a KEL-TEC style trigger. It's not like a Glock. If you shot the Glock pistols and you pull it back and you hit the XD or the M&P, any of the striker fire pistols, you pull them back, you get that take up, and then when you hit the wall of those pistols and then you put that pressure and it breaks. The Sub2000 doesn't have that. It has that kind of sponginess coming back, and then it just loosely breaks. There's no wall. But that's okay on a rifle. It's okay on any weapon, really. But it's not a bad trigger. I'm not going to brag about it, and I'm not going to knock it. These do have a key. Right here, this gold piece. This is our takedown lever. This right here is to fold it. Our trigger guard is the folding mechanism, so you push down and it folds. And then it goes back onto the buttstock, and that locks in. They make a key right here. You put this in, lock it down, and the gun cannot unfold. The KEL-TEC Sub2000 is being made for Smith & Wesson M&P magazines, Sig Sauer P226 magazines, and the Beretta M9 or 92 magazines. That's on Gen 1. They make these chambered in 9mm and chambered in 40 Smith & Wesson. Now let's go into what's going on right now at SHOT Show and everything that's going on. KEL-TEC has released the Gen 2 Sub2000, and now they're making these with interchangeable magazines to where you can use multiple magazines in your gun, and that's a really cool deal. But for me, I like my Glocks and my Glock magazines, so this works out fine. I don't have any of the others laying around just to use, so the Glock works out just fine for me. So I hope you guys give a big thumbs up for this video. We're out here, we're in the cold, it's raining, it's foggy, nasty weather, but we're not going to let that stop us. We're going to get this Sub2000 out here and shoot it. So let's go. Camera's getting all fogged up. Let's go. Okay, let's go ahead and throw some rounds out here at the steel plates we got set up, our point of impact quarter scale. And our KEL-TEC Sub2000 is drenched in water right now, but that's all right. This gun needs the lubrication, and I think the water definitely won't hurt it as long as we clean it up when we get inside. Go ahead and hit those targets. It's a lot of fun right there. Can't beat a sub 2000. Where could you use a little carbine like this? Me personally, something that comes to mind for me, the crazy world that we live in, guys. I could see a college student who chooses to carry, having this tucked away, especially if your campus allows concealed carry. This could be folded up in a backpack. This could be folded up and tucked away underneath a driver's seat. And I really feel like this would be a great response weapon. I mean, there's nothing wrong with using a handgun. We got to do what we got to do, and carrying a gun is better than not carrying a gun when it comes to a situation that's really bad like that. But if you carried a sub 2000 and you had 3 of those high capacity magazines, the factory Glocks, the ones that are going to work reliably, and you got 99 rounds of 9mm packed away, you're going to hold your own in a firefight, and you're not going to be an easy target. Next, I see this being a great home defense weapon. You got this folded up on your sling, have it hanging on the side of the bedpost, something like that. If you don't have kids running around, no access to children. Other than that, we need to have it locked away in a safe or a safe place. I could see this being tucked inside of a sock drawer. And this gun, we see right here, the overall length weighing in at 4 pounds. And we have a 33 round magazine. Tuck this into our shoulder. It's going to be a bad day for anybody who enters the house unwelcome. And I think this would be a great option for home defense. Now, there's some people, and they're probably going to be in the comment section, KEL-TEC makes cheap junk. KEL-TEC makes throwaway guns. Guys, I'm giving you an unbiased review. I own this gun, so it's somewhat biased. But I'm not being paid by KEL-TEC to sit here and tell you how great it is and to go out and buy it. Honestly, I think they're good guns. Some of them have feeding issues. I will say that my 9mm model likes to be oiled. So after shooting a couple hundred rounds, I'll throw some oil or some lube down there on that bolt, lube it up in here, and it runs reliably again. But when it's freshly cleaned, ready to rock, like you should have it in a self-defense weapon, have it cleaned up, ready to roll, this gun's going to work, and it's going to run reliably. There's some people out there that say these are cheap throwaway guns, pieces of plastic, they're toys, they're junk, things like that. I don't see it that way. I think they're solid little survival rifles, camping, hiking, backpacking. This is a 100% utility gun. This gun is made to be used. It's not just something that you take out to the range and shoot. It's not just there's so many things that you can use this weapon for. I like to use it for hiking. I like to use it for camping. I already told you guys I like to take it on vacation. I'll tuck this in right beside my laptop and my laptop charger, and I'll have a couple of those magazines topped off. And some people will say, well, why do you need that? You can just use a gun. Well, why do 5 people rob one guy? Why do 5 people decide to rob a store? I mean, we never know. And in my opinion, it doesn't hurt to be over prepared. Guys, in another video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, but in another video, we will go in depth with the accuracy of the KEL-TEC Sub2000, because that's one of the biggest complaints I have seen, is that people say that they can't hit out at 100 yards. They can hit, it doesn't keep a tight group, or it's not consistent. Me personally, with my KEL-TEC Sub2000, I've had pretty good results in the accuracy department. I can get back at about 100 yards, and I'm keeping them in 3-inch groups, 2-inch groups maybe. But let's just go ahead, we're going to shoot a quarter scale. Now this is about a quarter size target, if you get the idea there. It's not a full size human torso, it's a quarter scale. So we're gonna go ahead and break down the Sub-2000. We're gonna throw some rounds at that point of impact quarter scale. Pretty good results in my opinion at back here at about 100 yards. That's pretty good results. Guys, some magazine issues that I ran in with my Sub-2000. First off, we'll talk with the stick magazine. These are great, a lot of firepower, but these are the KCI Korean magazines and they can just freely come out by hand. Now that might be something that I can adjust in the magazine release in the spring or something right there just to get it caught. But at the moment, that will just freely come out. The next thing I noticed with this magazine, when you drop the barrel, it'll drop out the magazine. So that's a no-go, so I'm gonna have to do some adjusting there. Now with the factory Glock magazines, these are snug as a bug. They fit in there great. So if you want to get the high capacity magazine, I would recommend getting the factory 33 round magazine or 32. Next thing, Magpul P17. These are great magazines and they really fit in there good. So you can't go wrong with the Magpul magazines either. All right guys, that's the KEL-TEC Sub-2000 chambered in 9mm and it accepts the Glock magazines. If you're out at a gun store or you're at a gun show and you see one of these, pick it up and check it out. It doesn't matter to me whether you buy it or not, but check it out. These can actually be an investment. And we all have seen what happened with the Glock 9mm model, like this one right here. These are selling above the MSRP, specifically because KEL-TEC could not keep up with the demand of this carbine. They were so popular and everybody was buying them up that they don't sit on the shelves very long. Any of the 9mm models, really, because the ammo is so cheap to shoot, they're very popular. The 40s are solid little carbines too. But we gotta get this gun inside and get it cleaned up because it's soaked in rain and water right now. I hope you guys appreciate this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel. I'd really like to have you over and checking out the videos and talking with you guys. And if you didn't like it, give me a thumbs down. That's awesome. I appreciate you watching this video, guys. Jesse with J&J Outdoors. God bless America, and y'all keep shooting. Ah, that mag sucks.